started.
Welcome everyone to the Unstoppable You YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about what it is to find clarity within yourself. Let's get to it. So what does it mean to find clarity within yourself? Now, the definition I found online is saying that it means having a clear understanding of one's own thoughts, feelings, values, goals, and purpose. So when I read this, to me it sounds like having a full understanding of who you are as a person and how do you fit into this world, being unique in your own right. So we're going to go ahead and break down those 5 topics that were mentioned when having a clear understanding, which was 1, thoughts, 2, feelings, 3, values, 4, goals, and 5, purpose. To clearly understand and have a clarity within who you are. So the first one we're going to talk about, as mentioned, was thoughts. So to me, thoughts meaning is you have a clear understanding of who you are, of what you're thinking, and you do not change your thoughts or your perceptions to fit into society. Now, this is something that I think that is very tricky, even within myself, and very tricky with humans, because we were all created to be a part of society, to fit in to the norms, to the understanding, to be part of a community within our family, within our friends, within our everything. But we come to see that within those norms, that community, that family, and those friends, everyone has a different thought process or a different perception of this world. Now, our thoughts and our perceptions are pretty much created by our experiences in life. All those ups and downs, those happy moments, those sad moments, the moments that make you cry, define the way that we view life and the way that we think about things. Now, we should never be ashamed of the way that we think or how we think about things, or which pretty much is the same thing. Because each of our thought processes is unique, and I think being unique in this world is something very beautiful to have and is very special. Remember, you always have to be honest with yourself, regardless of what the circumstances is. Whether you're right or whether you're wrong. Trust me, it's going to be weird, but people will respect you for that. Because they will see that you stand for something. And that you're not trying to fit into any narrative or anything. You're being honest with who you are. And you're being honest with them. And that's kind of difficult, especially when it comes to our family. You know, our families have a perception of who they want us to be. But sometimes we go a separate route. And then sometimes family just has a negative connotation when it comes to that. But we have to understand that our family, our parents, come from a different time, have different experiences. So, all of that combined has molded their thoughts and their clarity of what they view. Now, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we have to understand that they have a different view from a different time, from a different perspective, a different understanding, and different experiences than we do. Now, even though all the experiences are going to be the same, as the saying goes, that our parents have been through the same things that we've been through. But at the same time, we have to understand that their thought process is going to be different to ours. And the same thing with our friends, our peers, co-workers, and everything. So, to sum it all up, if you want to have a clear clarity of yourself, just be honest with yourself. Be honest with your thoughts, with the words, and with your feelings, for they describe who you truly are. The second one we're going to talk about is values. Now, what does values mean? To me, values mean what are our beliefs? Whether it could be our beliefs in religion, our beliefs of society, our beliefs of internet, our beliefs of relationships, and so on and so forth. Now, to have a clear understanding of values is of knowing who you are and what you stand for, and not breaking that for no one to try to fit in or try to be liked. Now, to me, I would think as an example of that, things that I've been through is when we try to change our values to fit into a circle of friends, to be liked, or to be loved in a relationship. We sacrifice our values to feel accepted. But the problem with that even though we find acceptance, we lose ourselves because we come to this point when we realize that we're not being honest with ourselves. We're wearing this mask to fit in. And the longer that we wear it, the more we could fall into this dark rabbit hole where we get lost. Now, we think people don't notice it, but people notice it when we're not being truthful or we're not standing up for ourselves and for our values. And in my experience, when we lose that thing of having values, it really puts us in a very sad, position. It could even lead to depression. I would say a common example of that, in my case, was with relationships with women. I would try to turn my values to feel accepted by them, to feel loved. But then when it was all said and done and the relationship was over, I was left broken. I was left with all these pieces. Why? Because I wasn't being honest with myself. I wasn't being honest with them. I didn't stick up for my values. And that, to me, even if the relationship could have failed, but if I would have stuck to my values, I still would have been sad, but at least I would have been, at least I would have felt better because at least I stuck to my guns and I was honest with myself. So when it comes to that, I always and will always stick to myself, stick to who I am. And I always recommend everyone, whoever it is that I come across, don't ever change your values for no one. Even if a person does not like you, that's fine. At the end of the day, life is going to be full of people that come in and out of your life. Now, some people come in your life to teach you a lesson and then they move on. And some people come into your life and they stay there because God has intended them to be there. But regardless of whether it be the people that come and go or the people that stay, be honest with yourself. Be honest with them. Stick to your values and don't break them for nobody. I promise you that you will feel better about yourself. You will feel better about yourself as you start doing this and as you continue doing this. And this will build up and this will build a strong character in you, which is, to me, in my experience, has been an amazing transformation. So get to that. The next topic we're going to go into, it's about your goals. Now, how does goals fall into finding clarity within yourself? So I think that's pretty simple or self-explanatory, but we're going to go into it. So the way I understand it when it comes to goals and finding clarity is you have to have a clear understanding of what are your goals in your life. Meaning, what do you want to achieve in life? Do you want to have your own business? Do you want to start a YouTube channel like I'm doing? Do you want to be top of your class, whether if you're in high school and college? Do you want to be top in your profession? Do you want to be a great parent for your children? Whatever your goal is in life, that speaks about who you are. And you need to have clarity, and you need to have clarity when it comes to your goals. Because, I mean, to me, that's just part of who we are. That's just our essence. Now, I will say something that's going to be a little different when it comes to what I've been saying right now. And I kind of feel that right now, with the world that we live in, and with the inflation and the cost going so high, I think that, goals can be easily lost in the sense that, we have to focus on the jobs that we have. And at times, we may need to work extra hours to get some extra money, whether if we're single and we have high cost of living, or if we have a family to feed. You know, we live in a society where we're living this 9 to 5 lifestyle. Now, before I get into that, I'm not speaking anything bad about the 9 to 5. I mean, if you find purpose, if you find your goal in that, I think that's amazing. If you find happiness, good, great. Um, but when it comes to the 9 to 5, I kind of feel that we wake up early, we go to work. If you work early, then we're at work our whole day. So we get home and it's already later on in the night. You start preparing dinner if you have a family, or if you're single and you get home hungry, you start preparing dinner for yourself. But then you take a shower, you wash up, whatever it is that you do when you get home from work. But then when you realize, you look at the time and it's already getting late. So you know that you need to go to sleep because you know you need to wake up the next day. So I think that with that kind of lifestyle, goals can be easily lost. But I want to share some real good news with you. Even if you don't have a lot of time to work on your goals, the great thing is you don't need a lot of time. If you can figure out a way, and I'm sure we all can, to at least pull 30 minutes from your day to work on your goal, then that's right there the key. That's right there the answer. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, I don't have time. I'm busy. I have kids. I have this. I have that. But I'm going to call BS on that. I think we all have time. Now, the thing is that we need to organize our time and we need to be consistent. That if we're going to separate 30 minutes from our day, then let's do it. Let's make that like our daily goal, a daily purpose, a daily value, like what I've been mentioning. And say, no, these 30 minutes, I'm going to do this. All it takes is that, and you have no idea how much you can do in 30 minutes. I mean, whether it is you want to get a great body, you can do so much in 30 minutes when it comes to exercise. If you want to learn a new skill to build a business, 30 minutes is enough. Or if you want to record a YouTube video, trust me when I'm saying this, 30 minutes is enough. You could record a video one day and edit it the next day and just post it. If you don't have the time to record the video, edit, do everything. So take that as your window, or as, I don't know, just something to give you the motivation for you to realize that if you really want to and you plan yourself accordingly, no matter how busy your schedule is, you can find time to work on a skill. And there shouldn't be no excuse. The only excuse that you're going to have is that you don't want to do it. And If you're here watching this video, then I know that you're not that kind of person. Then I know that you're not gonna fall into that. Because if you're here, then you want to build and you want to create something that no one has created, no one in your family, in your circle. You want to be top 1%. And I'm going to share something with you. No matter where you are in life, no matter how many people have succeeded, there's always room at the top. There's always room to be the best, that 1%. But to get there, you have to work on your goals and you have to focus on it because there's no other way to it. So start getting into that. Take 30 minutes out your day, and if you find difficulty doing that, you can buy yourself a calendar. You could get your phone. I know now phones, we can do everything on our phones. So you could put on your phone, I'm going to dedicate 30 minutes to do this. You can put a little reminder note on your desk or anything. And in those 30 minutes, you're going to focus on that. Whatever your goal is, no excuses. And I promise you, in 3 months, you will see difference. And then after 3 months, you check yourself another 3 months. That's 6. And then so on and so forth. And you're going to realize how much you can grow when you focus on your goals. The last topic we're going to discuss is purpose. So, what is your purpose in life? To me, I feel that my purpose in life is I want to be the best I can be. Not just for myself, but for my family, for my friends, for this YouTube channel. And my purpose for that is that I want to show others that it is possible if you truly believe and if you truly have faith. Um, and I'm gonna say something when it comes to that. When it comes to purpose, I'm a firm believer that God places everyone where they need to be at for a specific reason. And I'm here sitting in front of you. I mean, as you can see, I'm kind of getting stuck at times. I lose thought, whatever it can be, as I'm learning to record uh, YouTube videos and being comfortable sitting in front of a camera. But this is where I feel that God has led me to be here. This is my purpose. And by meaning by that is, I have been through so many ups and downs in life. I've had many people who I thought were there for me, who loved me and for everything, who at the end of the day have turned their back on me, stabbed me in the back, have broken me. But I thank God because it has been through Him that I have been restored and I have been renewed and my heart has been healed. And I could sit here in front of you and speak about these things so I can motivate you to not give up in life. And I think that that is my purpose. So with that example, I'm going to challenge you to ask yourself, what is your purpose in life? What are the things that you have experienced in life that you have learned and grown from that you can share with others um, to help them become a better person, to help them not make the same mistakes that you have. Because I think to me, there's no greater purpose than that. I think that we are all placed on this earth to learn from each other, to learn from mistakes, go through heartbreaks and heartaches and happy moments, but to not get stuck in that, to go through those motions, cool, cool the things that God wants us to learn from those experiences so we can better ourselves, so we can motivate others to live happier lives. So I think if you're not sure of what your purpose is yet in life, I think start with that. Start with taking everything that you have learned and helping others. And by doing that, I promise you that you will find how great your purpose is, or you will grow in that purpose and expand into another purpose, as I have experienced in my life. And I think that's amazing. So there you go. Do that. Well, all right then. There you have it. Uh, I've broken down what it means to find clarity within yourself. So if you reach the end of this video, I truly appreciate you being here. If you haven't done so, subscribe to this channel. It truly does help this channel grow. I also have an Instagram page and a WhatsApp page that is linked to this channel. The description to my Instagram and my WhatsApp is in the my YouTube channel description. So go check that out. Um, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace and God bless.